Good happy Wednesday afternoon, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to your afternoon newscast right here on WRMK News 12. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday afternoon, so let's get started right now. First up, Eckersley's attorneys filed motion to prohibit use of discard infant during trial. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
Christmas night 2022. She called 911 from her boyfriend's phone after giving birth in the tent they were living in. That phone call lasted 12 minutes. The defense says it shows a new mother scared, believing her son was dead and fearful she was in a, quote, life or death situation from blood loss. The operator asked where the newborn was, and she responded, quote, on the ground. Court documents say she was told to leave him there and to stay put herself until help arrived. The defense says it was clear in those 12 minutes the infant was being discussed as a miscarriage. The operator later updating Fire and Rescue while Eckersley was still on the line, saying the, quote, fetus was not likely viable. When first responders arrived, a bleeding Eckersley was put into an ambulance, but the baby could not be found. Paramedics told Eckersley they needed to find her son. And she said, quote, she didn't want to get yelled at. She did eventually lead police to the newborn, who was taken to the hospital. The defense says the jury needs to base their verdict on fact, not sympathy, and that referring to the newborn as a discarded infant or anything similar will lead the jury to make their decision on empathy.
Now, the trial is set to begin on January 22nd in Manchester. Live in the studio, Kelly O'Brien, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Text informs Granite Staters of shift to new emergency alert system. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
If you got a weird text today, it is actually not a scam. The state will be adopting a new security notification system starting January 1st. Text messages were sent out to Granite Staters this morning explaining those changes. The system will be taken over by Genesis, and residents are asked to download the Genesis Protect app. Anyone who was previously enrolled to receive alerts will be automatically added into the new system.
Okay, and there you go on that report. NYPD for New Year's Eve celebration as big crowds gather, making New York a target for violence. Let's take a listen to that report from ABC News.
Well, now to security preparations for New Year's Eve. An estimated 1 million revelers will head to Times Square this weekend, and law enforcement officials say that makes it an attractive target for violence. ABC News senior investigative correspondent Aaron Koturski is in Times Square with more. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning to you, Eva. The eyes of the world are about to focus here, and so that does make this event, the New Year's Eve ball drop right here in Times Square, a potential target for attack. This morning, New York City's getting ready for the biggest party of the year. 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year! More than 1 million people are expected to cram into Times Square to watch the ball drop on New Year's Eve. The mayor says police will be prepared.
There's always a serious concern around safety in New Year's Eve because there's a large number of people. The police department is on top of it.
ABC News has obtained a threat assessment by the FBI, NYPD, and other agencies that says the ball drop could draw interest from malicious actors looking for targets of opportunity or from lone offenders inspired by or reacting to the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict. The security plan includes thousands of officers, miles of metal barricades, plus drones, dogs, and hundreds of surveillance cameras, all to keep the crowd safe.
I think it's a pretty safe bet that someone is going to try to do something to distract or disrupt the events in Times Square.
In recent years, though, extremists have almost exclusively targeted law enforcement or military personnel. Just a year ago, at this very celebration, a young man from Maine attacked police officers with a knife as they worked a security checkpoint.
It's a real Herculean task to manage that number of people without being heavy-handed, but being protective.
One additional concern this year, the possibility demonstrations over the war in Israel could disrupt. Now, there's no specific threat, and DeMarco, crowds have been gathering here in Times Square on New Year's Eve since 1904, so the NYPD has a long history of keeping the event secure. DeMarco.
And we're hoping for the best. Aaron, thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out.
Okay, and there you go on that report. And that does it for this afternoon edition of WRMK News 12. Thank you for watching, and have a great afternoon, and goodbye.